Hello everyone and welcome back to Star Trek Online. We've just been given command of the U.S.S. Versailles, which is a Pioneer-class starship. And we're heading to Edron 4. So that's going to take us quite a while to get to, and there's something I'd like to explain. Mainly skills. Now, starting at level 5, or rank 5, every time we rank up, we get a skill point that we can put into various categories. For now, I'm going to go with, I guess, hull capacity. It gives us a bit of a boost in hit points while we're in space. So that's 1 point. These are locked until we get 5 points in any combination of these. For ground, I'm going to go with kit performance. Now I don't believe I actually have any kits on me. That's for ground combat. And I'm going to go into science training for medical tricorder 3. Now this isn't for my benefit, this is actually for the away team. Now I mentioned before about the different species and their traits, so I'll actually go through that now. Now I know this says 23rd century Andorian. Andorians are all the same, whether it's in 23rd century or the 25th, which is the regular Andorians. But let's take a look at their species trait. Now, we get bonus damage for each point of missing health. This bonus increases greatly as your health nears 0. I'm not sure on the exact calculations for that, but we also get plus 10 perception, plus 10% exploit damage, and plus 25% resistance to flanking damage. So that means when anyone is behind us or beside us and attacks, that's flanking damage. They get bonus to damage towards me, but I have 25% resistance, so I'll take about 75%. There's a few more calculations, but that's the basic calculation towards that. Perception is detecting either hidden or stealth things. More into that later, that's pretty advanced combat stuff. And exploit damage is if either I or one of my officers on the ground use a certain attack or ability, it has a chance to cause an exposure status. If I use something that uses exploit, I do bonus damage plus 10% on top of that, which doesn't seem like much, but it can add up. Now, I can also have a list of traits to choose from, both ground and space. Now, the species trait technically counts as one, but it doesn't show up in any of these lists. So I'm going to remove covert and aggressive, because I don't want to be taking all the damage. It gives the aggressive trait gives me more damage, but it also increases my threat generation, which is done by healing and doing damage. Instead, I'm going to go with lucky. That increases critical hit chance and increased chance to expose. I can change these whenever I am not currently in combat. And also mid-mission, I don't think I can change it. Peak health is useful. It's plus 10 toxic damage resistance, which is not much. The big thing here is the 10% maximum hit points, which in turn helps with my Andorian trait. Surefoot is useful as well, but we'll see. Cold Dwelling. I thought Andorians got this rolled into their species trait, but apparently not. It's pretty useful, but only when you're fighting certain opponents, which I am not going to be fighting. So I will go with... I guess I'll go with Sure-Footed. It's a bit of protection against knockback and stuff. And we're immune to root while aiming, immune to knockback while crouched. Space traits. Increased ship weapon accuracy. That's not much of a bonus, but it is important. That's with all space weapons, by the way. We can upgrade this trait later, but that's when we join a fleet, which is also later. And starship perception is the same thing as ground perception, just for starships instead of people. Conservation of energy would actually be pretty useful. I'll take that later when I get more exotic damage powers. Basically, I get up to 30% when it stacks up to 3 times. Basically, if I get hit, I'll get a stack of conservation of energy, which is 10% bonus damage on exotic damage powers. I don't have too many right now, so that doesn't matter. And there's a whole bunch of other ones too, which they're a bit numerous to go through all of them right now. Defense is useful. Again, not plus 10. That's not so useful, but it's better than nothing. When you're moving your ship around in space combat, you will have some defense. This just gives it a bit of a bump. Defense, basically, it's calculated against the enemy's accuracy to see if they will miss you entirely with an attack, which is quite useful. I'll stick it on Astrophysicist for now because even though it doesn't do much for us right now, it can later. Tarsi is an Andorian like us. I cannot change her traits, however. Bridge officers are a bit different than the players because she gets the Fury trait, which is basically rolled into our Andorian trait, but for some reason they separated it for bridge officers. She gets superior peak health because she is a very rare officer, even though you're guaranteed to get her. Soldier gives her more damage, and critical severity, and acute senses. So basically, our Andorian trait is basically acute senses and fury rolled into one, and we get it for free. Whereas for Tarsi, it basically takes up 2 of her 4 spots for traits. I'm not sure why they did it that way. I guess it's a balancing thing. And we can of course look at our ship. We did get equipment for our ship, and we'll equip that now. Got an engine, which gives us bonus turning because of that turn modifier. And we have a new shield, which we get reduces disruptor damage to shields by 20%. That is actually one of the more useful kind of modifiers for shields, the reduced damage. Now, as I said, the Versailles is a, well, I called it a light cruiser, I think, but it's a Pioneer class utility cruiser, but for gameplay mechanics, it's a light cruiser. Cruisers are kind of the middle of the road. They tend to be more engineering focused. But this one's being a light cruiser, it's very plain. Not much to it. And we actually got a Type 1 phaser, which has a wide beam setting, which I actually like better than the Type 3 phaser rifle. Now, recently they changed the pistol type weapons, so that way they have a bit more damage. And the Type 1 and the Type 2 phaser the Type 2 phasers are basically like your typical pistol. The Type 1s are more meant for stealth missions in the show, but that doesn't count for this. So we'll head to Edron 4 and begin in the shadow of Cestus. I'm not going to be voice acting everyone, by the way.
Welcome to Edron 4. I'm Bridget McKinnon, CO of the U.S.S. Zhangha. Glad you could join us. My science teams are on site and conducting initial surveys. Apparently, this place is quite the geological marvel. We're not the only ones present, though. Our friends from the Gorn hegemony aren't terribly chatty, but so far they're keeping the peace.
How can we help?
Well, I'm sure my people wouldn't mind an extra hand down there on the geological marvel. Feel free to join the party.
Okay, I'll send a team to the surface then, Versailles out. Well, the Gorn are curious about us, so let's go and say hi.
Transporter room to bridge. The geological team, supplies, and gear are ready to beam down to Edron 4.
Let's beam down an engineering team. That doesn't include us. We got some sensor shadows. Okay, everyone's waiting for us, so let's take Ensign Tarsi down. She does have a set of skills that we can change later, but I'm not going to be bothered with that. Not right now.
Ah, there you are. Better late than never, huh? Ensign Skavra, Starfleet Corps of Engineers. Lovely planet we've got here. Charming, even, if you're fond of heat and rocks. Still, it's not a complete wash. To say this place is mineral-rich would be an understatement.
What's your background?
My first assignment out of the Academy was on Vulcan, working at a geothermal power site in Chicago. Great people, the Vulcans. Good at arguments, though all the logic comes off a little dry for my tastes. This is my first deep space assignment, and I'm damn glad for it. Hope we're going to travel to more than desert worlds, though. I hear Ryza's nice this time of year.
Okay, so the Tellarite here is going to help us.
My tricorder's showing some interesting mineral formations beyond this ridge.
Switch to my Type 1 phaser.
Start our scans.
And let's scan this formation.
Nice to see a report was spot on for once. The mineral deposits here are remarkably pure. This carbon deposit is unusually pure. Apparently the Metrons don't prepare half-rate planets.
Apparently they have bamboo shoots on this planet.
Whoever gets the mineral rights to this planet will be pleased. Very pleased indeed.
Can we not share the mineral rights?
My readings indicate there might be dilithium on this planet. I'll need to take more scans to be sure.
This almost looks like salt.
The variety of minerals in the topsoil alone is astounding. Either my tricorder is broken, or the soil here has an amazingly high concentration of sulfur.
Yeah, I can't imagine that smells very nice.
Gatherers have closed off the pass. We can't reach the camp. Who would do this?
Look! Over there!
It's the Gorn.
Ah, the Gorn. Actually, I should have used sure-footed, but oh well. By the way, sure-footed works automatically when you crouch, so there'll be a little foot icon. Basically, I'm immune to knockbacks. Okay, so they're having a bit of problems in space.
Over there. There might be a way out of this infernal canyon further down the valley.
I see you there, Mr. Gorn. Now, I thought we were immune to knockback or knockdown, but we got knocked down. I don't understand that. I guess it didn't knock us back as much. Oh, by the way, we got a new power, the tricorder scan. That reduces their defense. Well, damage resistance, actually. So we can do a little bit more damage while it's affecting them. Not a very good view, but... yeah, you can still control the camera while you're aiming and crouching.
We need a way out of this canyon, and I'm thinking that big rock up there is it. With a little Federation ingenuity, we can topple this rock with a makeshift bomb. Once it's down, we can walk across it and get back to camp before the Gorn use the Zhangha's science team as target practice.
Take those items.
Have you read Captain Kirk's report on this place? We have all the materials we need here to make bombs. They won't be pretty like me, but they'll get results. If you can collect the materials, Ensign Hunter and I will work out where to place the explosives. We're going to need at least 3 bamboo containers, sulfur, potassium nitrate, and coal.
Behind us!
And there's more Gorn. Now this should be coal. Yep. Just give you a bit of a look at the tricorder scan tooltip. And we'll just collect our various ingredients for these bombs, even though I think they were actually mortars that Kirk was making in the particular episode. Now we need one more stalk of bamboo. You can attack while on the run as well, as you can plainly see. Now where's that last piece? There it is. Need to talk to Ensign Scavrin.
Right. Ensign Hunter and I will construct the bombs we need to bring down this rock across the canyon. That's the easy part. It's up to you to keep those angry Gorn off us while we work. Hope you're a good shot.
I'm a pretty good shot.
Well, at least the Gorn are punctual. Keep them off us!
Where are they? Oh, up there.
Crush that coal up good, Hunter. Not like that. Finer. Careful with that. Potassium nitrate can react explosively with these materials. Now mix it with the coal. Carefully. I'd rather not get blown to pieces today, if you don't mind. We're just about done. Done! Now let's get these bombs in place.
Place a charge here. Another charge here. And the last one here.
The bombs are primed to blow. We should move to a safe distance.
How are they primed to blow? They're not exactly timed. In fact, we forgot to pick up some flint. But I guess they already have it. You could probably use a phaser too.
Fire in the hole!
Now we have a convenient ramp. Don't worry, our bridge officers will catch up.
Looks like some Gorn came through here. We better hurry.
They just bash the gates right in, huh? Now, tricorder scan is area of effect. Okay, we'll speak with Dr. Ward.
Thank you. Things were looking pretty grim there for a moment. The Gorn. They kept saying the deaths of their people would be avenged, but we didn't do anything. I haven't fired a phaser since the Academy.
Don't worry, you're safe now. Okay, I guess Science Officer Green, beam us up.
Good to hear from you. Thank you for saving my people. We're making repairs, but it'll be some time before our engines are back online.
Okay, we need to guard the Zhanghe. Zoom in a little bit just to get a better look at the ship.
We're picking up Gorn warp signatures on our long-range sensors here. They're coming back.
Alright, now we need to defend them. Get them and built our phaser arcs to get their shields down a bit faster. Oh, they're laying down mines. Now, we can't really do much about them. We can shoot at them, but that was a bit too late. I'm gonna actually have this unbalanced because I need the agility. It's close enough. And the cowards, they warp out.
Thanks for covering us. Gorn would have made short work of my ship otherwise. I owe you one.
How are the repairs going?
Slow but steady. Our warp drive is still disabled, but we're making progress.
Okay, we'll have to give them some of our supplies.
I hate to ask, but something's bothering me. We picked up strange energy readings before the attack. It could be nothing.
We did as well, if you remember.
Sending it now. I'd start with the debris of the Gorn ship that was destroyed. There might be a clue there.
Well, they really blew that ship apart.
Captain, the crew of the Shanghai were onto something. I ran a deep scan analysis of the Gorn debris. The results are damn peculiar.
Go on.
Gorn ships aren't as tough as a Tellarite design. But our scaly friends know a thing or two about hull plating. Whoever fired this shot knew exactly where to hit them.
Oh, and who did it?
Not with the data we have now, but the science team just found another strange energy reading nearby.
Let's see what's out there. Scans the strange anomaly.
Picking up debris from the Gorn ship, and some trace elements of weapons-grade plasma. Sir, I know who did this. It's the Romulans.
Romulans? Wonder what they're doing here.
I'll shave my eyebrows if I'm wrong. It's the Romulans, I'm sure of it. There's more bad news. The Gorn are coming back, weapons hot. Orders?
Tactical, disable them.
It's the same ship as before. Doesn't look like they're back at full strength, though.
Now, back in the 23rd century, the Romulans had only a couple of starships designs that they had. So, they actually borrowed some from the Klingons, or maybe it was the other way around. Either way, one of the races borrowed some kind of ship design from the other.
This space equally, Federation. Your unprovoked act of aggression against our research vessel tells me otherwise. I see no Romulans, only Federation ships. Do you think me a fool, Captain? Most convenient, Captain, but I am unconvinced. Produce these Romulans that you claim destroyed our ship, or prepare to pay for your crimes.
Captain, I've got an idea. If we can generate a charged particle burst, we might overload their cloak.
Make it happen, even though you're not a science officer.
afraid. No one can know of our actions here today. Your death, while regrettable, is necessary.
We'll see about that. Alright. Our first battle with the Romulans. Now we're getting help from the Gorn, but we could probably take these guys solo if we needed to. Now that negative status that we got, which is the kind of pink ones, we're currently slowly losing hull hit points over time because of the plasma beam arrays that the Romulans have, as well as their torpedoes, which have pretty much the same kind of damage down over time kind of thing. It's probably going to hit their front shield by the time I get around. Nope, it hit their side. Hopefully I can hit them in the back, but it's not gonna look like it. No, I got them in the side. But they're running out of healthy shield arcs, which works for me. Gonna swing around and hit them with a torpedo, and then get away. Yeah, exploding ships will do quite a bit of damage to your ship.
Well fought, Federation. The hegemony will remember the Romulan treachery today, and your assistance in exposing it. I propose we continue our joint surveys of Edrin 4 under a mutual non-aggression pact.
Oh, that works for me.
So there was another player on the field. Nice work out there, Captain. We'll be heading for the closest starbase soon, but we'll be back to finish our work here, along with the Gorn, I'll wager. I think the Romulans will take a pass, though.
And with good reason. Okay, the Versailles is ready to leave. And that takes care of that. We just need to report into Admiral Garrett.
Good to hear from you. I've read Captain McKinnon's report. Sounds like things got a little rough on Edrin 4. Still, the diplomatic corps thinks your actions will make a difference in future talks with the Gorn. Well done.
Thank you. And we get Skavron as a bridge officer.
Stay safe.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
And our next episode is Painful Omens.
Starfleet hasn't heard from Deep Space Station K-13 in a while. It's in a tactically sensitive part of the quadrant, and the brass is getting concerned. Get out there, find out what you can, and render assistance if needed. And hey, be careful, okay? This could go sideways fast.
Okay, I think that's about all for today. Thanks for watching.